Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Cool Kids Lunch Table podcast with PJ and Mike. Now, please find yourself a seat at their table.
All right, hey guys, I'm Mike.
I'm PJ.
This is our 4th episode. We're going to review Metallica's new album, 72 Seasons, and PJ is going to review the new Super Mario Brothers movie. So we have a lot to get to. All right, so PJ, I'm going to start with a childhood memory.
Okay.
Dude, when I was like a teenager, and maybe like middle school, high school, dude, I used to love like when one of my favorite bands came out with a new album. And like it's not now like with the internet where like you see YouTube gives you a preview or Spotify. I remember just like waiting out the Sam Goody. A place used to be called Coconuts.
I remember Coconuts.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Coconuts. Then it became a Suncoast, but I remember when it was
Suncoast. Yeah.
You know what was great about Coconuts, just real quick, since we're talking about it? The gift card, if you bought somebody a gift card there,
right,
was a giant coin.
Huh?
I don't know if you remember that.
I never knew. I did.
It was a giant. You would buy it in denominations, like if it was $25, $50, but they give you a big coin as the gift card.
Oh wow! I never knew that.
Yeah.
Huh. I know what's the magic I feel, that kind of tactile way of like just waiting online. I remember just waiting for the store to open and being online for other fans. I remember like my friend Dream Theater would come. I'd be waiting online, or there'd be this band called Static X.
I remember them.
The singer passed away, but I remember just going to the store and trying to find this like jewel. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I just kind of miss those magic moments of just like waiting for look, obviously music still comes out, but we
But it's not the same.
Yeah, we ingest it very differently now, and I really miss that. I really miss also concert stubs, because when I was a teen, I saw concerts. Sometimes I didn't really have enough money for a T-shirt, and back in the day, you weren't able to get band T-shirts. Like you had to go to the concert itself.
Yeah.
Used to be a place called, I think it's still around, Utopia.
Yep.
You can go there, but everything was either large or extra large. Now you can get your favorite band's T-shirt at Target.
You can get it anywhere.
And they got your size. They got small, medium, large, Hot Topic.
They can go anywhere and get a shirt. But yeah, you used to only be able to get tour T-shirts at the actual tour.
Yes.
Now they sell them online on their websites. You don't have to go anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to like when you'd have to get a ticket for a show or a concert, and you'd have to line up at Nassau Coliseum at the box office, and there'd be like 1,000 people or 10,000 people wrapped around the building of Nassau Coliseum waiting for the box office to open. Because it was either that or you had to wait on the phone. You could call them and sit on hold until someone could answer the phone.
And I really miss that, and like I said, I miss the concert ticket stubs. I still have all of them. I still do, the ones, but once they started like to printing them and, I felt it was just not the same than having the actual stub. But real quick story, wasn't really a childhood memory, but I'm trying to, all right, so my dad, my brother and I went to see the Rolling Stones. They had a movie called like Havana.
Okay.
That's where they played like for like 1 million people, like the first time a band has been there in like years, blah, blah, blah. And this was like maybe 2016, I want to say, maybe 20, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And it was like in theaters only. You could buy it on, of course, DVD now, but it has like a special show. It's like a limited release. So we all went to see it. Besides Episode 1, Star Wars, The Dark Knight, people were actually trying to scalp or offer us, or they were asking us, we'll buy your ticket so we could see this show. So I just thought that was like one of the coolest things, the power of music, the power of the Stones.
Was it like a live stream thing or was it pre-recorded?
No. Yeah, it was just pre-recorded.
Wow, okay.
But it's just because it was like maybe like a 2-3 night thing.
Right.
But I remember someone was like, yo, you have tickets for that? I'll buy it off you. I remember in my head, I'm like, wow. I'm like, this isn't live. This is, it's going to be, eventually going to put on video. But I remember that being like pretty fucking cool. Like,
I didn't know about that concert. Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's cool. Like Rolling Stones Havana. Yeah.
I might check it out. I like the Stones.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, and just obviously the footage is great, but the behind the scenes stuff is just like them building this stage. There's like 1 million people showing up. It's like no joke. There was just a good story of I don't want to spoil it, but like basically when they were building these stages, this is in like Havana, Cuba, and beautiful women there. So this one beautiful girl was walking through the while they're building the stage, right? All of a sudden, production shuts down. No one's building anything. And like the tour manager's like, yo, what are we doing? Everyone's like, yo. Yo, this is a beautiful woman over there.
Mamacita.
And then basically everyone just shut down to watch this beautiful woman.
Just walk by.
But this is like a Stone stage, which is gigantic, and they had speakers, but such a cool movie. They play great, and the behind the scenes stuff is awesome. Particularly when they do Honky Tonk Woman. It's just Keith and Mick with a guitar playing the original version. So, But anyway, that's my childhood, maybe late adulthood memories, PJ. But all right, so Metallica's new album. I'm excited. I was very eager to listen to it. So it's called 72 Seasons, guys.
I listened to about half so far. I haven't gotten through the whole album yet, but Metallica is probably my top 5 favorite bands. It's probably number 2 for me.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I'm a big Metallica fan. I just haven't had a chance to listen through the whole album yet. But from what I heard, I did like it, but I haven't listened to the whole thing yet.
Yeah. No, well, I'm happy to say it's very, very good. Yeah! Believe it or not, I love Metallica. I actually never seen them in person, which is crazy because I've seen so many bands live, but for some reason it's one of those things that just kind of slips through your fingers. But I'm gonna see them this year when they come to.
You're gonna do that double concert they're doing?
I think at Giants.
Yeah, there's MetLife, right?
Yes.
It's 2 nights, right? And the 2 different set lists for each night. I was looking into it, and it just seemed crazy expensive, and I'm just like committing to 2 nights. I didn't know, and I've seen them so many times now. I've seen them with the Big Four when they did that at Yankee Stadium with Anthrax, Megadeth, Slayer, and then Metallica headline. I saw them at the Nassau Coliseum, and I saw them in Albany. I think I may have seen them one other time. They always put on a great live show. If you've never seen them, you're gonna have a great time with the show. They put on one of the best live concerts I've been to is them. They're up on that list. I think they put on a great show.
Yeah, I think you're allowed now just to buy single tickets. It's like you buy just for one show. You don't have to buy both. But I really want to go to the first night because it's Pantera opening.
Oh wow, that's the night to go. Who opens the second night? Do you happen to know?
Five Finger Death Punch and
okay.
I wish it was 9 Inch Nails. It's
is it Ice Nine Kills?
Yeah, for some reason.
Okay.
That I feel like they have the same da da da.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. Ice Nine. Yeah, I haven't seen them live. I like Five Finger Death Punch.
I do. I like some. Of
I like
songs.
them. I would rather see Pantera though. I agree. Yeah. The last time I saw them, or one of the last times I saw them, Volbeat opened for them. I don't know if you ever heard Volbeat.
Is that Jason Newsted's band?
No.
Okay, I'm getting mixed up.
No, but they I don't think he's in it.
No,
but they
I'm getting mixed up. Maybe he has a band. Maybe he has another band that starts with a V.
Yeah, it's a good band. Volbeat. They were not exactly the same kind of music as Metallica,
right?
But it was still a good kind of rock band to get you into it. So that was a fun show. But yeah, I've seen them live. You're gonna have a great time if you wind up going to that show. Yeah. They put on a fantastic live show, and they're good with doing the hits. A lot of bands, when they have a new album that comes out, they play through the whole album, and then they'll sprinkle in 1 or 2 of the old hits just to keep you kind of interested. Yeah. Metallica knows you want to see old school Metallica, and they give it to you.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a problem seeing new songs. I think it's a good balance, especially when you have that big side of the catalog. And real quick, I think also Wolfgang Mammoth Van Halen, his son's going to open with Pantera.
Oh, really?
And I like him. I like his band.
He's pretty good, too.
He plays all the instruments, and I think he's a good singer. He's very impressive. I like his songs.
Good for him.
He's good. So
good for him for opening on that kind of a stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I plan to go to that one, night 1. I mean, both nights sound great, but yeah, really, mainly because I want to see Pantera. But back to the album. So 72 Seasons. Okay, I just want to start off with saying this. We know it's not going to be better than their classics. We know it's not going to be better than the first 4. I mean, that first 4 is unbelievable. That lineup, even 5, right, with the Black Album, right?
Yeah, first 5 albums,
right? Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, right?
Master of Puppets, the Black Album,
and Justice for All, then the Black Album. Yeah. So that's an amazing lineup.
And the self-titled album in there too, wasn't there?
Yeah, the Black Album,
Black Album.
Mm-hmm. And then I mean, after that, you want to say like that's the second half of the career, fine, whatever, but. Anyway, as one of my heroes says, all great bands have half lives. So the first half of the career is amazing. So, but yeah, look, this is a very solid album. Yes, it's a really great follow-up to Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I like that album.
I liked Hardwire a lot. I think Hardwire was the first album they released in the second half of their career when you could still say that's a good Metallica album. Mm-hmm. There were some in the middle that were okay. They were good. You could listen to them, but Then there were some real stinkers in that.
Yeah.
But I thought when they came out with that last album, you can say, hey, this was a good album for Metallica. It sounds like old school Metallica.
Yeah, and the same thing with Death Magnetic, which came after Saint Anger, but as much as that is a good album, for some reason I just find it very forgettable. Like,
I don't think it has any big songs that you want to go back to.
Yeah, I know they have an instrumental on there, which is cool, but for something about that album, I found it just flat. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's very flat and forgettable. You know?
It was their return to form.
Yes.
That's what that album was. So you can listen to it and you're like, it sounds like Metallica. They're not doing this experimental stuff anymore.
Yeah.
They're back to being themselves. And then I think it took one more album to really elevate themselves to where they used to be, or as close as they're going to get to where they used to be.
Yeah, and I give always any band credit or any artist, they want to try something different. I understand with Saint Anger, they wanted to do something different, but that album, everything about that album, like just production-wise, lyrically awful.
The sound of it, I don't know, it was... I listened to that album when it came out, and I remember... remember how you said coconuts and going to the store and buy it? I was excited to buy that album because it was like the first time there was like a new Metallica album in a while with and I was ready. And the CD box art for that, I can still remember it. It was like bright red.
Yeah, it has like
and it had the fist and
it has like barbed wire or something.
And it looks awesome. You're like, this shit's metal. I can't wait to pop this in. And then you pop it in and you're like, this ain't metal. What is this? Saint Anger around my neck. I hate it. I just don't like that album. I hate that song.
I think the worst song on that album is called Invisible Kid. I mean, it's terrible. It's like,
terrible.
Invisible Kid. Yo! I was like, oh my God.
And they all sound the same. I don't know what he was going through during that album, but they were trying for a new sound. I think it was the last time they recorded with Bob Rock. He's the producer who did the Black Album for them. And and that guy's recorded, Motley Crue. So really, he even said when he got Metallica, he's like, you guys are not recording the way you actually sound live. That's why, after Justice for Everything has that, right.
Which kind of really started the modern metal sound, that that hits it right in the chest kind of thing. But new album though. I do have to say this is a really good album. Like, no joke, no exaggeration. All these songs have groove. I call this like music that's gonna make you tap your foot. You're gonna headbang to. Great music to work out to, drive your car in. If you gotta paint your fence,
show me paint the fence. Up, down.
Yeah.
You gotta put this album on. It's really
very energetic from what I heard.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm actually kind of go through song by song, if that's okay. I'm gonna go quite quickly. It's kind of hard to describe these things without hearing if some folks haven't heard it, but these are my notes that I wrote. So it starts off with 72C. That's the name of the first song. This is a great opening.
That was a long song for me when I was listening to this album.
Yeah.
I felt like a lot of songs on here were not quick hits. They were you got to listen to the song for a while, which is why I only got through like half of the album because I felt like 3 or 4 songs in, I'd already been listening to over a half hour.
Yeah. Well, I'm my brother and I and some of my friends, we're trained because we love Drink Theater. Most of those songs are going to be 8 minutes plus. They have a song an hour long, or half hour long.
My attention span can't handle it.
But I've been trained. My ear's been trained for that. But yeah, it starts off with this song called 72 Seasons. It actually reminds me of the guitar reminds me of Mr. Lou. I think I pronounced the beginning of the Pulp Fiction movie.
Right. Yes, it does sound like that. I thought that while I was listening to it, like that kind of music. Yep. Yeah, I said that too.
The song's got a lot of groove.
Yeah.
I call this is a fun song to like air drum to because there's like some good fills and I know a lot of people pick on Lars. I think Lars is a great drummer. This is a topic for another day, but I love how he's one of my favorite drummers. I love how he plays drums, what he writes.
I think he's underrated because people don't like his personality, and they take it out on his skill as a drummer. But I agree with you.
Exactly.
I think he's a great drummer. I think that whole band is filled with great musicians.
Oh, 100%.
That don't get the credit they deserve for being as good as they are.
Yeah. So the first song it's a good one to start off the album, kick off the album. Second song is probably one of my favorites. It's called Shadows Follow. Good intro, old school intro, like stops like dick dan 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 dan, shit like that. I gotta say, not a lot of huge bass in this album, but when you can actually kind of hear it in the mix, very much like Motorhead, that kind of like thundering, like.
And that's my favorite. When I said Metallica's my number 2, Motorhead's my number 1.
Yeah. I like this song 'cause it's like it has a good pre-chorus. I don't know, I think that's the best way to describe it. It's good. Vocally, it's really good. It's interesting. Good head banging parts. This is like what everyone's gonna go like. I could picture James going like, yeah, and everyone like puts their arm in the air
Yeah.
and goes like, yeah, kind of has a Ride the Lightning type feel. The next one is Screaming Suicide, which is one of the singles.
That was one of the songs that I liked the best from what I got through.
Yep. Like I put my notes. I says great pre-chorus, very Motorhead type bass. That's great. Next one's called Sleepwalk My Life Away.
For me, for what I got through, this was one of the weaker ones for me.
Okay. I could see that. For me, I wrote. It reminds me of The Cure. Like kind of had like a gothic feel. It reminded me of a song by them called Burn.
Okay.
From the Crow soundtrack, which is an amazing song. Listen to that song.
It felt from the first half of the album that I listened to the least Metallica-like, I think, the least heavy.
Well, there's 12 songs on this album, which is average length for an album, but each song's about 6 minutes plus.
That's why I said
except
they're
for
long, yeah.
one song, Lux Eterna, which I'll get to. But for this song, I did enjoy this song. For some reason, I said, it's got some Ozzy feel in it. It's kind of slinky. Kind of has like you said, well, maybe it has a different vibe. Kind of like somewhat of a country in the pre-chorus. This has actually a good guitar solo, some bluesiness in it. I'll get to my negative stuff. I think Kirk overall does a good job with his guitar playing. The next track is called "You Must Burn."
That was another one I really liked from what I got through.
It's more of a slow song. Kind of, I feel like this would be on the Black album. They're self-titled. I said another good solo. Kind of reminds me of a solo from Justice for All. Kirk does with his solos a lot of double stops. A lot of his vintage type things. I put in this song. I think a lot of these songs, they would really benefit if they added like a keyboard, like an organ, to really give it like some evil, like a Deep Purple kind of thing. I know they probably want to keep it just them 4, 5, whatever heck it is, but
I thought this one sounded heavy.
Yeah. That's why if it had like a keyboard behind it.
Yeah, this one sounded heavy. And when you go to the show, you haven't seen it, but you will because they do it on every show. Right before they do Sad But True, Hetfield always goes, "Do you want heavy? Metallica gives you heavy." And then they go into Sad But True. And for me, I kind of felt like that was this kind of song for me. It was heavy. Yeah. It wasn't like rapid fire fast. It wasn't speed metal.
Good groove.
But it had a good groove, and it was a song that like you felt it. Like you felt the heaviness to it. Like it was heavy metal for me. I really liked it. I really like "You Must Burn" and "Screaming Suicide" a lot out of the first half of the album.
And I wrote on here for that same song, "You Must Burn," it reminded me of a Dream Theater song. It's called "In the Name of God," like kind of like the main riff, just like kind of like somewhat like Egyptian, kind of like if you guys go listen to that song by Dream Theater, it's like about 17 minutes long, that song, but that opening riff is kind of reminiscent of that. After that's their first single, which I love though. This is "Lux Eterna."
That was a good song.
One. It kind of reminds me of I call it the twin sister of their song "Fuel."
Okay.
Give me fuel,
give me fire.
Yeah.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Ooh.
Welcome to Musical Impressions with PJ and Mike.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I agree. It does have that kind. And "Fuel's" a great song, and this is a good song too. And this is the first single, right? "Lux Eterna." That was the first one they put out. And when I heard it, I was really happy because I'm like, this is going to be a good album.
Yeah. And that's a fun song. The next one is called "Crown of Barbed Wire." Actually, I thought this was one of the more. It's like a weaker song on the album. But what I did like from it, I tried to pull some strengths from it. Part of it reminded me of Korn.
Okay.
Towards the end, it reminded me of one of my favorite bands. They kind of dissolved now. They're called Silverchair. They have a song called "Pop Song for Us Rejects," and it kind of reminds me.
Yeah, they don't exist anymore? They're done?
Yeah, they're like on infinite hiatus.
We were on a break.
He has a lot of mental health issues, and I think he doesn't like. I guess he's moved on from that kind of music, unfortunately, because his new stuff is terrible, which is a real shame.
I haven't heard any of his new stuff, but I remember
like
that
pop,
band.
It's like Justin Timberlake, experimental kind of stuff. It's terrible.
Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Yeah.
But he wrote fantastic songs, and it's not like, if you try, I don't mind going to a different genre, but
it just doesn't work most of the time when you hop into a completely different genre. It does. One, it doesn't suit your abilities or your voice. Your part of a genre for a reason. And two, I think the fans don't want to hear you sing that, so you're not going to be successful if you like. If James Hetfield comes out tomorrow and starts singing country music, we're not going to go. We're not going to that concert. Like, you got to stay in your lane sometimes.
Yeah. No, I agree. Please come back, Silverchair, please. The next song after that, I felt was another kind of weak song. It's called Chasing Light. I said there's a pretty good solo in there by Kirk. After that, it's called If Darkness Had a Sun, which is another single. I love this song.
Yeah, I heard
this
that single.
This beginning reminds me of the band New Order, the song True Faith.
It's also just a great title for a song. When you go into it, you look at the track list. If Darkness Had a Sun, it sounds badass. That's a good name for a song.
And side note, this album I really like the lyrics in this album. Like, very genuine, pure. Nothing seems forced. I feel like the other there are other albums, with Death Magnetic, I wasn't really feeling lyrically. This, I feel, maybe it's the way James is singing, because he sings great on this.
Did he do any of the writing for this? Like, was the writing for this done after he got out of rehab? Do we know?
I have no clue.
Because he sounds better being out of rehab, so maybe it's just maybe the songs are coming together better because he's got a clear mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I wrote in here. This is old school. My fiance loves this song when I play it. Like I said, a single was released. This is a good sing-along song for live, I felt like he's going to be like, all right, everyone sing like, good double bass in here. The guitar solo has a little bit of Jerry Cantrell as a guitar singer and guitar player of Alice in Chains towards the end. A little vibe of there. After that is Too Far Gone. Look, one of my favorite bands is Dream Theater, so this has like a Dream Theater type kind of vibe in terms of, because obviously Dream Theater is influenced by Metallica, and sometimes it feels like this is Metallica trying to do a Dream Theater who's trying to do Metallica. So it almost sounds like you want to say Metallica's covering Metallica, but
right. It's Metallica Inception.
Yeah,
it's Metallica within Metallica.
Yep. But I said I like the chorus a lot. It's very catchy, and this song kind of reminds me of My Chemical Romance. I know it's kind of a weird comparison, but it's very good sing along. This album isn't completely like full of like melodies or hooks, things like that. But this is like that. I would say a lot of memorable songs. Like in terms like it's very good. But you're not gonna be like, well, what song is that? But this is a good song to sing along. But intro's freaking good. And towards the end of the song, some good unisons with James and Kirk. The next song is called Room of Mirrors. This is just really good thrash, good double bass. I wrote here, so I love the drums. Kind of remind me of their last album, kind of Moth into Flame.
That's a great song, by the way. Moth into Flame. And when they do that live, they do a sick job with that song live.
Yep. Good double bass. I don't know if I just said that, but good double bass. Some good harmonies in there. And then last, but certainly not least, hopefully I'm not going to butcher how to pronounce the name of this song. The last one, Inamorata. I think that's how it's pronounced. So anyway, this is clocking in at 11 minutes long.
Oof.
Oh, yeah. But look, this song, this is a great way to end the album. It reminds me like a little bit of a feel, and I'm going to put this on I'm going to recommend, I guess, spoiler alert, I'm going to recommend this album. And I'm also going to recommend people get Dream Widow. That was Dave Grohl's, this is a side project.
Okay.
He made a movie called, I think, Studio 666. I never saw the movie, but that album is probably one of the best metal albums that came out like in over a decade.
Okay.
That album's awesome. So it has that Dream Widow type vibe. Good halftime. Grew in there. Kind of reminds me of Wherever We May Roam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This kind of has like a grunge feel. I picture, if he was, God bless him, if he was still alive, Chris Cornell kind of singing this. I feel like it would benefit if he had someone kind of sailing, going like over this. It really needs that kind of, but it's good. But you see the potential if he had someone.
The thing with Metallica is it's all Hetfield when it comes to any sort of vocalness. It's all Hetfield. And sometimes you could use a break because his voice will eventually, it gets like a bit much. Yep. So they do need a little bit of a different sound, I think, on some of the songs. I haven't heard it, but I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah. And in this song, there's actually a really good breakdown. It's just Lars and Rob basically just on this, and it really sets the whole vibe, because this whole album, there is no ballads. There is no, every song is fast.
Yeah.
So the only time the album actually slows down for a second is this, and this 11-minute song, which is a nice kind of breakdown, has a nice, really good vibe. You're like, whoa.
It is a shame that they don't have any slower songs, because I think some of Metallica's slower songs are excellent.
Yeah, some of the best. Yeah.
Nothing Else Matters is my wedding song.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah, like that's because that's how much Metallica is my favorite, right? Up there for me. I use their song as a wedding song. Their slower songs are still heavy, but they're really good. They really sound good on those songs. And when Hetfield really sings, he has a good voice.
Oh yeah.
So I was a little bummed that I didn't get any slower songs from what I listened to, and I was kind of hoping there'd be at least one, not ballad, but something a little bit more slowed down. So I guess it's a bummer that I'm not going to get that when I get to the rest of the album. I get why they want to be fast and thrash and all, but I do like when they give us at least one or two slower songs on an album.
But yeah, it was really having this breakdown at the end. And the kind of like towards the middle of the end of this song is really good. Kind of reminds me of a band called The Perfect Circle. A lot of good vibes in it. Good unisons with them. Kind of the outro, kind of has a fade to black kind of thing, like like kind of ending solo, and everything. So yeah, I definitely recommend this album. Kind of I would give it like a probably 8.5 out of 10.
It's a good score for an album.
Yeah, no, it's very good. Look, we know it's not going to be better than their classic. We know that. But it's just to
me, the best Metallica song, like my favorite, I don't know if it's the best, but my favorite is always going to be Master of Puppets.
Oh, yeah. That's one of their...
Yeah, and I know that's like, everyone's like, oh, you're picking the most popular one. I get it. It's the best one. That's why we make that our favorite song. Yeah, there are deep cuts that are really good, but you know what? Put on Master.
That song is like, if you want to be like, what is Metallica? That's a great example. Song. It has everything. It has this breakdown.
Yep.
Kind of, it's a beautiful thing.
It's a great song.
It's awesome. And
they're never going to reach that level again. And it's okay. And there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't need them to be making Master of Puppets again and again and again. They gave it to me, and they're still pumping out good music. It's fine.
But just to review this album on its own. Let's say Metallica, this is their debut album. You would say this is a great debut album. There's nothing to really break balls with this. That'd be kind of unfair. My only negatives is like, okay, there's no ballad on it, maybe one, but that's fine. My only real negative actually is with Kirk, the guitar player, just because his solos, they're so repetitive, and this is not a analysis of him as a guitar player or anything, but everything's a scratch solo, which means like he, whenever they do playback and he records the solo, he's probably doing it one or two takes. And I want to tell him, like, dude, why don't you spend like 2 weeks just writing a solo? Yeah. Because I know I saw interviews like, I want to keep it, live. I feel like a clinic and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, I get that. I know you want to keep it organic, but at the same time, look, I play guitar too. And any musician would, I'm assume would agree. When you improvise, even if you're a master of your instrument, you're still gonna go to your regular bag of tricks, right? Because you're on the spot, so you're gonna go things you're most comfortable with. And sometimes the solos, I'm like, damn, like, because like there's moments in I'm like, ooh, they should have developed that. That's why I said the little parts of Jerry Cantrell or
the best solos on the live when you see them live are not him. The best solos are Trujillo. His bass solos.
Yeah, I think that guy can actually play like acoustic, like flamenco. I think he's a Spanish guitar, that kind of stuff. He's very accomplished. But that's more, But like I said, with Kirk, I really wish, because he has so much more potential. So I wish he really wrote more, but really took the time to write things out. But like I said, this album has tone. What I mean by that, has like a good beefiness to it. It also has like an attitude. Yeah. I feel like the past couple, even though like I like Self-Destruct album, the Death Magnetic is fine. This one I feel like has a bit of a spirit. It's something about it has a little bit of an attitude.
It has a little more anger to it.
And it has attitude.
Yeah, when you listen to them now, like when you see them live, or you go back and listen to their old music as compared to their newer music, when they first started, they were a very angry band. They just, that was that kind of music. It's heavy metal. There's a lot of anger behind it, a lot of emotion behind it. Now they don't have that as much, because after they finish singing and they're done on tour, they jump into their pool of money and they float around on $100 bills, right? They don't have the same level of anger and emotion in their music as they used to. That's one of my biggest criticisms of Metallica now, is when you listen to them and you go to their concerts and they're like, we're all part of the Metallica family. Yeah. Everyone's welcome at Metallica. Yeah. Be angry and hate some people, please. I need you to hate somebody on this.
Right.
They don't have that as much, and it's reflected in the music. But from what I heard on this one, it does sound a little bit more of like a return to form, where there's more behind the music, there's more behind the singing. Right. Maybe it is a result of him having to go through rehab and feeling like he had a setback, and maybe there's some emotion behind that, and he's putting it into the music. You do feel it a little bit more. But that is my biggest criticism of current Metallica, is it doesn't have that same raw anger emotion behind the music.
And I think this goes for any band, because I think, talking about tone, it's like you always say, I like their earlier stuff. I think what happens with successful bands who have long careers is like their first albums have like an attitude. This whether it's the way it's recorded, has like something distinct about it. I think what you call like their second half, everything kind of, all of a sudden all the albums kind of somewhat sound alike to a degree in terms of vibes. But I think also the other part is like, when they were young, right, they had no responsibility. I don't even talk about family. I talk about now they have to be a part of a business. Yep. And also some of it is like, like, it's not like, oh, if we don't write anything, or we don't put out good shit, it's like, it's not, oh, it's whatever. It's like, no, it's like, you start to get close with the sound tech guys, the stage crew. It's like, we employ them. So now you almost feel a sense of responsibility. So it might even suck. It's a lot of pressure. I'm sure. But the one last thing with Metallica, and we'll move on, is I want everyone to check out Metallica. They played live on Jimmy Kimmel, but also check out them playing on Howard Stern. I love when Howard Stern has guests.
He has great musical guests, and they do great performances in the studio with them.
And they played Luxa Turner, kicked ass. They did Turn the Page. I mean, you were talking about before about James. His voice sounds lovely on that. Kirk Owens on guitar, that with slide guitar. And they play an acoustic version of Blackened, which I know, and it sounds great. It reminds me of like Alice in Chains, like Unplugged, a band who I love too, called Days of the New. And I recommend you guys check that out.
I'm going to give you a quick Metallica pop quiz.
I'm down.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
All right. Before we end our Metallica discussion, a quick pop quiz. They set, in 2013, a world record, a Guinness World Record. What record did Metallica set?
Is it like Spotify plays?
No, it's not. You've probably heard it, heard about the record, and when I tell you, you'll probably remember it. You want to give it one more shot?
Maybe with the Black Album selling the most album, No,
what it is this. And this is a cool record that I didn't know about. I didn't know what until they won it. I never realized no one did this before. They were the first band in 2013. They hit the record to play on all 7 continents. Yeah, they played on Antarctica. Yeah. I don't know who they were playing for. A bunch of penguins and polar bears. I don't know who's up in Antarctica. I knew you'd know it once I said it.
I heard that. I remember people, too, were saying they were complaining about their set list. Like, how could you not play Trapped Under Ice?
Yeah.
They didn't play that song. How could they not
You're in Antarctica. What are you doing? I thought that was a cool record, and I didn't know that wasn't a record until they said it. I'm like, no one's done that before? But then I don't actually think of Antarctica as anything other than, like, ice. Yeah. So I guess I never even realized. But I just thought that was a cool record.
Yeah, I love it. Damn, I feel like I should have gotten that.
You should have. I knew you knew it, too. And I knew once I said it, you were going to know what it was. But I thought that was a cool trivia fact about the band.
So, Mr. PJ, I know you saw Super Mario Brothers. I'm excited for your review. I have that. I still want to see it regardless of your review, but I'm
going to start off right off the bat saying this. It was fantastic.
Oh!
I'm not gonna bury the lead on this one. I loved every second of this movie. It was. We'll start with just the animation, right? Before I even get into story or acting.
Yeah.
The animation on this CGI movie, this computer cartoon, was some of the best I've ever seen. Like, when you compare it to other movies, like in the animated genre, like your Toy Stories or Minions and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Those all have really good animation to it.
Yeah.
This movie, Mario wears denim.
Right.
And you can see that it's denim.
Right.
It's a cartoon denim, but that's you can see when you look at a pair of jeans, you know how it has the texture of it?
Yeah.
You can see that texture.
Damn.
It was very, very good animation. Very smooth, very bright and colorful.
I was gonna say that movie looks like a pop of color.
It's so colorful.
It's like you want to eat the screen.
Yeah.
You lick it.
It's when they're in the Mushroom Kingdom and it's just so eye catching. It jumps off the screen. So I want to start there. The animation, top notch. Some of the best I've seen in recent history. The story feels like it could be the story of a game. When you play through the games, you rescue the princess, right? That's what the game is. That's what the movie is. So it feels like the games. It doesn't stray off the beaten path of what you want Mario to be.
Right.
It's exactly what you want a Mario movie to be. And then the acting, a lot of people, when they first dropped the trailers, were shitting all over Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
He doesn't sound like Mario. He doesn't sound like... His voice isn't high enough. It's me, Mario. He doesn't sound like that. That would be so annoying if you had to hear that voice for an hour and a half, 2 hours long. His voice was fine. It was great. It fit the character. It sounded like he was an Italian dude that lived in Brooklyn, which is what this movie is.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really want him to be the because I feel like his voice now. Like I think of the Lego Movie.
It doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like
I
that at all.
haven't seen it yet, but I was kind of nervous. And I don't. Real quick, sometimes I get nervous with all these celebrity voices where I feel like it's not even the character. It's like
it's the person.
Yeah,
and it's not. It's Mario. You don't. If you didn't know it was Chris Pratt, I would not have watched this movie and said, "Is that Chris Pratt?" I wouldn't have known.
Oh, okay.
I think he changed his voice enough where you could be like, "That's Mario. That's a guy that lives in Brooklyn."
Right.
I thought he did. It wasn't the heaviest Brooklyn accent, but it was good. I thought it was fine. No, did not deserve the hate that he got for that. The star of the show is Jack Black.
Yeah.
You're
a lot of people saying that.
Oh my God, was he the perfect Bowser? I mean, he killed it. He killed it.
And he has like I guess
a song.
Exactly, because I know the song basically went viral.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
So, it's called Peaches.
It's called Peaches.
I thought, real quick, when I saw it, like I haven't seen the movie yet, when I saw it, like a thing on YouTube, Peaches, I thought he was doing a cover version of the song Peaches by the President of the United States.
No,
and I was like, that'd be a perfect song
that
to
would be great. And now I kind of want to see that. But no, it was an original song written for the movie, and he performs it exactly as you'd expect him to sound. Sounds like Tenacious D singing about Princess Peach. The story, like I said, is exactly what you want. The acting, the voice acting was fine. I thought it was just pure fun. Now, I don't know if you've played all the Mario games or not.
I mean, I haven't.
But
really
most
played,
of them, right?
Yeah.
Like the big ones, your regular Super Mario Brothers, your Super Smash
the
Brothers.
Classics, yeah. I guess I lost track after like Nintendo, GameCube. After
no,
that,
but like I'm talking about like the main ones, like the Mario Karts and all that.
Oh yeah.
There is a reference to probably every one of these games in the movie. He's going against Donkey Kong at one point, and he's hopping over barrels.
Right.
They have to drive somewhere, and they're on the Rainbow Road.
Right.
And spoilers for anyone who didn't see this in the trailer. I'm not really going too much into the story because I don't want to spoil it. Most of the stuff I'll talk about is just on the trailer, so I don't spoil it for anyone. But they do. They have Rainbow Road. They have him jumping against Donkey Kong. There's a fighting in it, and kind of reminiscent a little bit of Super Smash Brothers, the way they show the fighting that he does in some of the characters. It touches every one of the games, so like it feels familiar. If they turn this into a video game, how they make games based on the movies, you would buy it and you wouldn't know it was. It's perfect. It was so much fun. The movie is breaking records, I think they said, with how much money it's earning. Yeah. But there's a lot of negative press about it.
From what I heard it's like it's just a very basic plot, or but
what are people looking for? It's Mario. How deep? How does it? It's Mario. What are we gonna do? Like, it's not Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Like, is Bowser gonna have Peach in a pit?
Yeah.
As
I always say the same thing about film. A movie is at its best when it knows what it is. So I think they said, look, we can't overthink this. I think the movie's fairly short too.
It's like an hour and a half,
which is perfect. We have too many damn long movies.
You're in and out. It's fun the whole time.
They're definitely the correct length.
Yeah. Another thing people are saying about this movie that blows my mind, that this is the criticism that this movie got. People are saying it's only successful because it's not woke. Listen, it's a cartoon about an angry turtle that breathes fire.
Right.
Trying to kidnap someone who's the princess of a bunch of talking mushrooms.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're looking for out of this movie. It's not woke enough. It's not serious enough. It's not that. It's a cartoon.
I think that's just hysteria in our country right now. Because a lot of people, I don't go sidetrack here, but like a lot of people saying, because Disney Plus isn't doing as well.
Right.
Because they went woke with, I guess, I guess the Mandalorian
Yeah.
or She-Hulk or whatever. I want to be like, look, I'm not an expert. From what I know is I think it makes sense. The reason why they're struggling Disney Plus because they invested $1 billion into it. Of course, I make that back. They bought Fox Studios. They
Right.
bought a lot of big properties. So yeah, and they're not making.
Not making the money they need to.
You can't survive. They don't have a phenomenon like
Right.
Stranger Things. Like Mandalorian was big, yeah, but it's not. It doesn't have all these other things that are. It's not as big. I don't think because they went woke. I think it's mainly because the product's not as good as it really is, and they have a lot of freaking things to pay off.
I mean, Star Wars has paid for itself at this point. But you're right. They do have
maybe they broke even. Maybe on that.
They said the park alone.
In my opinion, I think they broke even.
They said
it's
the park
not a phenomenon.
They said the park
alone have what it was
paid.
Back in the day,
They made enough money on Galaxy's Edge in the park to pay for what they paid for Star Wars. So any money the movies and TV shows make is above and beyond. So Star Wars has been profitable. But yeah, like how much money are you making? You're buying Fox. You're buying everything. You're gonna eventually. You're not.
But
gonna
it doesn't
break
mean
even.
that's not. But that's not reason why they went broke because they went woke.
No, I don't think so.
I think that. I mean, I think it doesn't.
It doesn't help.
It doesn't help the product in terms of it's not gonna give the product longevity. It dates it actually.
It does.
When you put politics in anything, unless the movie's about that specifically,
It does date
fine. But if you do, like sometimes I don't like I use current music, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Because in 5 years, you're not going to remember what the current events were today,
it's not
and
gonna work.
it's not going to make sense. But back to Mario. Like people are saying that's why it's popular because it wasn't woke and it's not serious enough, and it's a cartoon. It's a cartoon about a little Italian guy that travels through green tubes and fights evil turtles. I don't know what you want. It's not a serious movie. If you were going looking for Schindler's List with Mario, you didn't get it. You're not gonna like it. If you were going for a 90-minute fun ride with a character that you may have known for a long time, that brings you back to your memory. They do have spoilers again in case you haven't heard this online. They do the music from the old
games,
not the old games, the old show.
Oh,
remember the live action / cartoon with Captain Lou?
Yeah,
they do that song in it.
Oh,
yeah, like it. Nostalgia, it hits the feels. Dude, I can't recommend it enough. It's great. It's if I'm gonna put a recommendation out there for this movie,
all right,
it's totally worth it.
And it sounds like it'd be worth seeing it in theaters.
I love seeing it in theaters.
I think kind of color and pop.
Yeah, it pops off that big screen. I think it would be good on home too.
I haven't seen it, but that's the type of movie you got to see in person.
It's fun. It's real fun. They're gonna make a sequel. It made all the money, and if the sequel's half as good as this, it's still gonna be good.
So PJ,
okay,
I have a Super Mario Brothers pop quiz.
Okay,
are you ready?
I'm ready.
You have your mushroom ready?
I have my mushroom ready.
You have your 1-up ready?
I have my 1-up.
Okay, so PJ, what was Mario's original name?
Oh, what was Mario's original name? Like Jumpman?
Yes.
Okay. I gotta know. I wasn't sure if you meant like his
actual. Kind of tricky, yeah.
Like he was Jumpman, but I didn't know if like Frank. I don't know, but it was Jumpman. Okay.
In Super Mario Brothers 3, that's the for Nintendo.
Yeah. Okay.
How many flutes are in Super Mario 3?
How many flutes are in Super Mario 3? I have no idea. I'm gonna just guess 5.
No. Want to take a lower guess?
Am I higher or lower?
Lower.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So 3 flutes. Okay. So I didn't know this when I was researching stuff. So who made their first appearance in Mario Tennis? So let's say like one of his, I guess now you would call it one of his classic characters or villains or hero, whatever you want to call it. Who was the first one to make their appearance, which is kind of weird, actually in a sports game. So what's the character who made their first appearance in Mario Tennis?
It's not Wario.
Close.
Waluigi?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, his brother. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And this one is here we go. In the original Super Mario Brothers, the one that has Duck Hunt, all that crap.
Okay.
What was the color of Mario's overalls?
Weren't they red?
Yeah.
It was reversed, right?
Yes, it was reversed. Yeah. And ever since then, it's been blue.
It's been blue, yeah.
Oh, PJ.
I always liked it better with the red.
PJ, you were
That's pretty good.
Yeah, 2 for 4.
All right.
I mean, if you want to call 3 for 4, because you got what we're gonna get with Ouija with damn. Yeah, man, nice. My question to you is, I know we might be running out of time soon, but so in terms of video game movies, would you say this is the best video game movie?
Would I say it's the best video game movie?
It doesn't matter if it's like a live action or
Okay,
anything based off it.
You know what? I'm gonna go with yes.
Whoa!
I'm gonna go. Prior to this, my favorite video game movie. I mean, aside from the fact that it's nostalgia, and I like watching Mortal Kombat, the first one.
Yo, that's my favorite.
It's like it's good. But in terms of being a quality movie, I think this is the best. And I think the first Sonic the Hedgehog that they came out with a couple years ago is also solid.
I've never seen the Sonic the Hedgehogs yet, but I was gonna say I love Mortal Kombat. I think that movie sometimes people break its balls way too much. I think yeah, some of the special effects don't like the CGI, like for certain scenes. Okay, whatever.
The original first one was way better than the new one they came out with.
The new one was awful. It's not even worth. It's not even.
Don't watch it for free.
No way. That's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
It was
like,
awful.
No, that's not even exact. That's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
And why would you make that movie with the main character of that movie not a Mortal Kombat character from the game?
Dude, that character.
It was awful.
Whatever that character. I don't know. It doesn't matter what his name is. It doesn't matter what his name is.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
This guy can't win a fight. In the beginning of the movie, he can't win. He
can't do anything.
He can't win he basically like a UFC fight. He can't win any fight.
He can't wipe his own ass without help,
Yeah.
but now he's gonna fight Goro.
And then he beats him.
I know.
Like, spoiler: he beats Goro easily. Like that movie was.
And
everything about that movie
his
was
power
awful.
is so stupid.
And he's wearing. Oh
He's wearing weird armor and he's a crappy
that
fighter.
costume on him looked terrible. You could tell
awful.
the rubber. I mean, that movie was awful.
Like a fifth-rate sci-fi.
Everything about it was awful. But
just
the
bad.
Mortal Kombat one from the 90s, I think it was 95. I think it still holds up. I think
it's cheesy, but it's fun.
Exactly, that's all it needs to be.
Yeah.
I think we talk about people talk about tone, about movies, and people take things way too seriously. Mortal Kombat was never really that serious. I know there was blood that ripped people's heads off.
But it was goofy.
But the guys who made that game had a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Dude, they had a move called Babality when you turn into
like a baby.
Yeah. And the reason they came up with that idea was because they said that first game was too violent, so to make a joke for parents was okay. Now we're gonna have
Babies.
friendship mode. You'll be making rainbows. There'd be a guy come. I mean, that game didn't really take itself too serious. It was supposed to be kind of cartoonish.
Yeah.
So I didn't really. I think people pick on that movie way too much.
No, I agree. I think that's
it might be some
movie.
nostalgia in there, but it's really honestly that on its own, just judging as what it is, it's fine. It's a very. I can rewatch it.
I can too. And it's better than the new one. The new one's just the worst.
And I want to tell you a quick memory about Mortal Kombat. When I saw that in theaters with my brother, dude, when the intro of the movie, it's like Shang Tsung's gonna, I think, kill Liu Kang's brother, right? And then like does it, whatever, and then I think then an opening credit, which I miss opening credits. They don't do it anymore.
No, they don't. They just go right to the
sadly,
movie.
which I think is terrible. That's a whole other discussion another day. But dude, when that first thing kicks in, dude, the whole theater was cheering, man.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like one of my favorite movie, like inside a movie experience, man, because it was so good, and I just miss, man, that kind of energy in movies. I mean, sometimes you still get that every now and then.
It's not the same.
But that was awesome, man. That was special. That was really high voltage. Was that a wrestling team, right?
High voltage. Who's your favorite Mortal Kombat character?
I don't know, Liu Kang a lot, because I knew all his moves.
Okay.
I actually like Kung Lao a lot.
All right. I was gonna say I like Kung Lao as my favorite of like the more human type of characters.
Yeah. I like all of them really.
Yeah.
I didn't like I hated being Shang Tsung. I just had to be really good with him, but I just felt his character was a waste. He was just like, I feel like I don't think he even had any moves. Maybe in the I haven't look. I'm going by
all his moves were stealing someone else's moves.
Yeah,
really,
I mean, I just know Mortal Kombat 2 the best, but yeah, I think Liu Kang, Kung Lao. I like Scorpion.
I like Sub-Zero out of the ninjas. I also like Smoke.
Yeah,
I thought he was cool. The gray one, the gray ninja. Rain was cool too. The purple ninja.
Yeah. They were great. Real quick, Mr. PJ. You were talking about video game. I'm just curious. Did you ever see Detective Pikachu?
I did.
Did you like that?
You know what? It wasn't terrible. It doesn't need a sequel. I don't think it's getting one. If you're like a Pokemon fan, I'm not. I think we missed. I think we aged out of Pokemon. We weren't the right target for it. But I know about it. It doesn't feel like a Pokemon movie to me. I know there's a Detective Pikachu game. I never played it.
Right. My thing with that movie kind of is with this movie. Like, I wanted to see it, and as soon as I saw Ryan Reynolds talk, I was like, no.
He's
I
Ryan
don't-
Reynolds.
I
That's
don't
what I was
want-
gonna say.
I was like, please. No,
It's-
that's
it's
why
not-
I don't feel like see him doing like, hey guys, that stupid thing he does.
It's not
Get outta
bad.
here.
It's kind of funny. I didn't hate it.
Nah,
But
I don't have any
unlike
interest in
Mario,
him.
where Chris Pratt, you don't hear Chris Pratt as much. You hear him as Mario. You can't help but know that's just Ryan Reynolds in every movie is Deadpool now. It's like that
Yeah,
movie became
yeah, I
popular, so
feel
now
like-
he's always Deadpool.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
wasn't
just
in the
like a
mood to
Deadpool
see,
that looks like a cat that doesn't curse. Like
Yeah.
it's dead. I don't know. I think Ryan Reynolds is overhyped.
Yeah. And I think he's actually more versatile than he does. Maybe it's the roles he gets and what he wants to do.
He peaked at Van Wilder. That's the way I feel about him. I don't dislike him, but he peaked at Van Wilder.
But real quick, Mr. PJ, these are just what I think. I think the world would benefit from a remake of The Wizard. And that's like the one from the 80s where the
Okay.
kid is he's like a video game
Yep.
tournament. He gets the power glove, all this other junk. I think they could make, especially with nowadays. I mean, that's a movie. That movie wasn't that good.
Right.
That movie's definitely nostalgia. That movie's not good at all, really. It's kind of boring. And I think Nintendo, PlayStation, all of them should do what I call bring back the old school Nintendo championships. And I'm
Right.
not saying
I remember
you don't-
those.
And you don't. No. You don't sign online. No. You don't. I don't care what your ranking is online. No. You gotta sign a piece of paper, go to your local mall, and you gotta do it there. You gotta be in
gotta
front
win.
of people. You gotta
Yep.
face the crowd. You gotta face the music. You gotta feel anxiety. You can't do it from your comfort of your own home. You gotta do it there. None of this. No way. I think that'd be great. That'd be great television.
Yeah.
It obviously it'd be a big boost the product. You know what I mean? None of this ranking. No. Old school. You gotta go in there. You gotta go in. You gotta wait on the line. Hey, you got a flat tire? Too bad. You missed it. That's it. Make it old school.
All
Make
right.
them,
Bring it back. Bring back the Nintendo Championships.
All right, guys. Well, looks like we have to go. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time, same table.
Have a great week.
Boys and girls, lunchtime is over. Please visit PJ and Mike's website, coolkidslunchtable.podbean.com for more information. Follow the boys on all social media apps. Just search Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast. Now get to class before you get detention.